Hey, Jake Meyer here with Wave Physical Therapy and Pilates. Today we're going to be talking about overhead pressing and showing some variations of how you can get back to that with less pain. So overhead pressing is a motion that we do a lot throughout the day, right? You're picking up something, reaching to a cabinet, getting our shirts on and off, maybe just working out in the gym. We always need to have that motion available and have that strength there. So what are some ways you can work on that strengthening, especially if you're coming back from some pain? So today we're going to go over kind of a series of 4 different exercises you can do to kind of work up towards that. So the first one we're going to do is going to be a serratus press. So you can lay flat or slight incline, depending on where you're at in your journey. You can do a little bit of weight. We're going to do here, we're going to lay down, have a little bit of weight right above your head. And I want the angle to be, so on a incline, I'm going straight up, but if you're flat on the ground, you'd be slightly over your head, about your forehead height, because your fibers of your serratus muscle actually point up and through. And that serratus muscle is super important for getting your arm up over your head and doing this press motion, okay? So to make sure we're activating that well, you can take some light weight or a band around your back, and then you can come in, almost do like you're doing like a barbell or a dumbbell bench press here, but then getting that extra little bit at the top. Controlling it down, getting that extra little bit at the top. So that way we're getting the arms used to coming over our head and controlling through that serratus. Next, what we're going to do is do a wall slide. I love the wall slide because there's another way you can get your serratus muscle activated, and we're starting to get our arms coming up over our head, but the wall's taking away a little bit of that pressure, a little bit of that weight. So if you're getting that pinch in your shoulder when you're reaching up, it can help eliminate that pinch. It's also nice if you can add a little loop of band, or if you have just a long band, you can just hang on to it with your hands. So what we're going to do here, the setup, have that band. I like to stagger my feet. That way it's a little easier to kind of keep your ribs down. You want to think about keeping your core engaged, ribs in your front of your hip staying together. And then pinkies on the wall, not the whole wrist so you don't rub on the band. Pinkies on the wall, pressure out, ribs stay down, and pressing up. You're going to think about your shoulder blades kind of reaching and rotating around, or your shoulder blades are reaching and rotating around your ribs, and we're not getting so high that we're shrugging up. So once you feel like the arms just kind of naturally stop, that's where you pause, and you'll control it right back down. So, yeah, putting it all together, pressure out, hands on the wall, ribs down, around the shoulder blades around your ribs, and control it back down. Next, we're going to do the landmine press. I like the landmine press because what you're using is like if you're at home or at the gym, you can do a barbell. If you're at home, it could be like a longer yardstick or a pole in a corner of the room. But I like it because we're attached to a wall or the floor in the corner or into the weight here. And what you can do is as you lean forward and into it, that angle helps get you into that overhead press motion, but you're kind of going through a bit more of a forward motion to get there. So it usually doesn't get as pinchy through your shoulder. It allows you to get to that full motion, a nice stretch at the top, still working those muscles in a more of a controlled way. So the setup, again, I like doing it tall kneeling, so you get that big stretch through the front. Think about keeping our core engaged. As you press up, you're also leaning your trunk forward, so you end up in this position right there. So it's a nice straight line kind of through your leg and your trunk and your shoulder. And just go to where you can. If it's too pinchy or painful at the top, then simply just kind of stop short of it. And over time, as you get this more mobility through your joint here and your shoulder blade, you'll be able to get to where it's all the way over your head. So here's what a few reps would look like. And then our last variation, what we're going to do is go right for the overhead press. So again, with this, you don't necessarily have to have any weight. It just depends where you're at in your journey. I'm going to do some light weight here. I'm going to lean on the wall. I like the wall because if we're trying to get back to doing these, the wall is going to help bring a little stability and a little feedback to your upper body. So we're not being crunched forward too far, which would just keep impinging or causing pain in your rotator cuff and your shoulder. So over here, feet out a little bit, lean on the wall, have our chest back, ribs down. Bring our hands here. A lot of times, if we can slide on the wall, great, but a lot of times we're going to be a little too stiff. So you can keep your elbows forward a little bit where you can still see them in your periphery. And your hands should be right above your elbows. And you're just going to press straight up. Coming right back down. Nice, good control. Coming up. If you get pain or a pinch at the top, I would just kind of stop at that point. If you can get them all the way up, that'd be great. But trying to let your ribs and your back arch. Just kind of go until you start feeling that compensation and work on that control down. Here's what a few reps would look like.